Hey, everybody. So, we are finally finished with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So, let's talk about this part three reunion that came on last night. And I'm not even going to waste any time talking about any of the other crap. Let's get straight to when Kathy came out because the beginning was talking about Erica Jane and I'm over her and her selfishness. I'm over her. So, let's just get straight to when Kathy came out. Now, Kathy comes out and Andy starts it off with asking Kathy about a DM. Well, he asked her if she learned like how to DM because she left a comment or she did something talking to her husband, and it was supposed to be like a. I guess she didn't realize that it was public and everyone can see whatever she left, the comment that she left. So the second that Kathy starts talking about the DM and what she did, Kyle chimes in, correcting Kathy as if Kathy can't talk on her own without her assistance. Mind you, Kathy is Kyle's older sister. She's a whole grown adult woman. Okay, maybe she's not the best person to use social media. She doesn't know social media that well, how it works. So what? A lot of older women don't, no matter how much money or status they have. Okay? It's not a big deal. Kyle, just this picture right here, just look at the way she looks at Kathy. You would think that someone would be happy that their sister is sitting next to them defending herself. And Kyle is giving her this evil, cold look. This is sickening to me. This is no sisterly bond at all. So they talk about that. They go over the DM. And then Andy talks about the tequila, what happened in Aspen with Kathy's tequila. Now, remember when Kyle had the get together at Kimosabi when they were having the hats made and they were, having drinks and everything? So he asks Kathy if she really stormed out, like, was she really upset over Rinna ordering Kendall Jenner's tequila? And Kathy explains, and I'm happy that Kathy did do this because I honestly thought myself that maybe that whole her storming out was over Rinna ordering the other tequila. But Kathy made it clear why she was really upset. She was upset because, and she said this, she's like, well, I'm mad at myself because I overthink. So Kathy thought that Kimosabi was going to be featuring her tequila, meaning like this is exclusive. This is what everyone was going to be drinking in there as a way of Kyle to help promote her sister's tequila. And that makes sense on Kathy's part to assume that. But Kyle in no way is going to sit there and be that thoughtful to her own family. And that's why Kathy was disappointed. And that's why Kathy left. Because her own sister's not even promoting or pushing her tequila at her event, knowing the cameras are rolling, knowing it's other people in here shopping, buying. So she's thinking like, okay, yeah, like Kyle's gonna hold me down and promote my tequila. And Kyle didn't do that. So what Kyle did, instead of Kyle just honestly saying, you know what, I'm sorry you felt that way, or I'm sorry, I'm sorry I didn't do that. Instead, what does Kyle do? She starts crying. She starts crying and says that it's also it was my fault. Like everything always is. It was my fault. Making this about her instead of just understanding where her sister was coming from and just saying to her, you know what? I should have done that. I could have done that. I'm sorry I didn't do that. You know what I mean? Like she just does not care about Kathy's feelings at all. So now they get into Aspen and what happened in the nightclub. Andy asks Kathy about that, and Kathy explains. She went over to the DJ, and she said the DJ was acting like he was too busy. He ignored her. So she said she went back to the section the women were in, and the manager was there. And she's like, that she offered him money to play whatever she wanted to hear, which was probably Michael Jackson, because that's what she said. Offered him, some money to play Michael Jackson, and he's like, "No, we're way too busy tonight." And she's like, "What do you mean you're too busy tonight? Like, I've been coming to this place for over 30 years. Usually when I come and I give money, they'll play whatever I want them to play." And the guy asks her, she said he gets annoyed and he's like, "Where are you from?" She's like, "I'm from LA." And he's like, "Well, go back to LA. Now I can tell you right now, I would have been pissed if someone would have said that to me, right?" Kathy Hilton, a woman of her status, for her to just be dismissed like that, she felt away. And I can see her feeling away about that. So she said she got upset and she went and found Kyle and is like, "I want to, like, let's leave." I guess she went and told Kyle what happened. I probably briefly, like, just seemed mad and went and told her she wanted to leave, like, "Let's go." And Kyle gets upset because Kathy came over to her upset. And she's like, "Oh, why are you talking to me like that? Like, I'm a grown woman." So this is what Kyle is saying. This is why she's upset. Like, "Kathy, you got to understand, I'm a grown woman. You don't walk over here and talk to me like that." Instead of understanding why her sister was mad and the way her sister just got disrespected in the club, she should have been like, "You know what? All of us, you know what? We're all leaving. We don't need to be here if you're gonna treat us this way, right?" Kyle didn't do that. Instead, Kyle's is like, "I'm not going anywhere." So Kathy ends up leaving with Rinna, and Crystal was supposed to go with them, but Crystal said she got caught up, I guess, in getting her coat or whatever the case was. So Rinna ended up leaving with Kathy alone, just the two of them. Now, Erika chimes in now, and she said she saw Kathy coming from the dance floor, very upset, and asks her what's wrong. And she claims that Kathy said the DJ is a effing F word and walked off. Kathy said, "Nobody else heard me say that." And Erika's like, "Well, you told it to me directly," meaning like no one else would have heard you say that. So it's like I said in the other video, she's saying it's her word against hers. So Erika's claiming Kathy said that. Kathy's saying she didn't say that and no one else said that. So I honestly don't believe Erika. I think that they found the perfect time to really set Kathy up to make her look bad and ran with it. This is honestly my opinion about it because these two women right here, cannot be trusted. I do not trust a word that they say out of their mouth when it comes to hearsay. Now, if there would have been some proof, that's different. I don't believe Erika. I believe Erika was looking for an outlet, looking for a way to get Kathy, and that night was it. And they knew it was it because they saw Kyle was pissed with Kathy. And like, tonight is the night. Now, Kathy makes it clear to Erika Jane that she's more credible than her. And then she also brings up how Erika is wearing possible stolen jewelry and clothes. She mentioned some bags, some ring, some coat, whatever that Erika was wearing, and she's like, "I know how you got that," or like something like that. She was referring to, and Erika, I could tell Erika got real pissed, and Erika's like, "Oh, I had this 20 years ago." Who's wearing something from Erika? Please stop acting like the expensive things that you wear now are from 20 years ago because you don't want the public to know that you're out here still rocking expensive stuff knowing you owe money. So Erika got mad about that and tried to, deny it. So now the women leave, Kathy and Rinna. She leaves with Kathy, and Kathy says she recalls venting to Rinna, feeling like she could talk to her, knowing the cameras were not rolling. And she obviously was pissed that Kyle just dismissed how she felt and dismissed the fact that she got disrespected and wanted to leave the club. So she's venting to Rinna about it. And Kathy said that halfway through her venting, that Rinna says, I get it. you're preaching to the choir. So Rinna goes and agrees with Kathy. You know why? Because she wanted Kathy to say more and say more so she can whatever, get whatever she could get to use against her. That's really what it was. And it also could really be that that's really what Rinna, how she felt. She feels the same way about Kyle, meaning like I can relate. I know how Kyle can be. I know how she can be. So she tried to make it safe for Kathy to feel comfortable talking and then to turn back around and now act like, oh my God, the things you said about your sister. Oh my God, so terrible, so horrible what you said about the other women. So it was really a setup from both of these women. Erika and Rinna really set Kathy up that night. Then Rinna goes and claims that Kathy said she was going to take down NBC. And then Andy starts reading the comments that Rinna claimed that Kathy made about the other women. And Kathy told her, like, I'm going to make you take a lie detector test. That's what she said to Rinna. And Rinna just looked at her. Like, she didn't say, oh, yeah, sure, go ahead. I'll take one. She just looked. So, come on. I don't believe that if Kathy's sitting here mad at Kyle for not leaving or listening to what she had to say, why is Kathy sitting here talking about Sutton and Crystal and Dorit? It's just like, what are you talking about? Why is she mad at these women when Kyle is the one who, that was the place that she had them go to that night? At the beginning of that, Erika said, Kyle wants us to go to this club. This was Kyle's suggestion. So all Kyle had to say when Kathy came over to Kyle to tell her what happened, all Kyle had to say was, okay, we're leaving, ladies, all of us. And all of the women would have left. Because Kyle is the reason why they were there in the first place. Right? That makes total sense. Like, Kyle, who do you think you're kidding right here? All you had to do was say the word and all the women would have left. So the women go back to Kyle's house, Kathy and Rinna, and Kathy said to Rinna, this is what Kathy admitted that she said, that she feels like Kyle hates her and she feels dismissed. Now, Lisa is claiming that Kathy stomped on her glasses and started punching the walls. I mean, this just doesn't even sound, it doesn't even sound real. It's one thing if you yell and you curse and you say some things because you're venting, but to sit here and say that Kathy is punching walls and stomping on her own glasses that I'm sure she needs, like, she went to the extreme with the lies. Like, they dragged it all the way out and it's unnecessary. So then Lisa goes on to say she got a call from TMZ the next morning about what happened in the club the night before, because it was like a couple of hundred people in there, and I guess people saw what happened. So she's saying that TMZ called her. Why, of all the women, why is TMZ calling you? It sounds more like you called TMZ because you wanted to, you knew you guys were filming and you like, let me get this story out here now and let's start the lies. TMZ called Rinna to ask her what happened when you have 8 other women there. But you're the one that left with Kathy that night. How would TMZ know that you left with Kathy that night to know that you had that Kathy had a supposed meltdown with Rinna in the car, that it was no cameras in there? Then you went back to Kyle's house. How would TMZ know to contact Lisa Rinna to ask her what happened? It just does not make sense. The lies that she's spewing it does not make sense. So now we get into the apology. Kathy, which we all saw when Kathy came over to Kyle's house and apologized to her. Remember, she told her how she's a good mom, a good woman, a good wife, all kinds of things that she told her. Kathy said she decided to apologize to Kyle on camera. And then Kyle says to apologize to Lisa too. Then Lisa comes over. And when Kathy explains that, meaning like, okay, I apologize to you, and then you have Rinna come over for me to apologize to her, then here goes Kyle. I'm getting blamed for that too. I'm getting blamed for that too. So Kathy goes in and says that Rinna just needs drama. That's when she goes off and she's like that she needs drama because her contract is coming up to an end. And then she mentions what she did to LVP and what she did to Kim and Camille, and just that's when she started going in on Lisa Rinna. And then Rinna had the nerve to say, "This is between you two, and you need to work it out." She sits there and says, "This is between you two, and you need to work it out." So Kathy's like, "This is what you should have said in Aspen. You should have said this in Aspen and let it go then." And then Rinna says how Kathy abused her by screaming and yelling at her. And then Andy chimes in like, well, hold on, because you've screamed and yelled at people too. And Rinna just says, so? She really answered and just said, so, like, okay, yeah, I do that. But I want to take down Kathy Hilton though. That's my reasoning behind it. So what did I do it to? And I wish Andy would have really went in more on that when she said so, but he kept talking. And then Rinna goes to say, all right, I'm going to let it go right here, right now. I'm going to let it go. It's up to them to work on their issues. And then Andy's asking Rinna, like, why are you so hell-bent on getting in between them? And then Rinna says, because she was traumatized by Kathy. That's why. She was so traumatized by Kathy. That's why she wouldn't let it go. She said she saw the devil and called Kathy a monster. I mean, she sat there and called her the devil and said she saw a monster, and Kyle said absolutely nothing. Instead, she started crying again. And then Kyle says how she feels put in the middle and was hurt. She feels that she gets the blame for everything. She says, the only one who gets hurt is her. And I'm like, what do you mean? So these women that are supposed to be your friends come for your sister, and the only one who gets hurt is you, Kyle? They don't get hurt? Your sister doesn't get hurt at all? Not one time did she say, you're hurting my sister. You're spreading lies about my sister. Stop it. This is not right to do to my sister. Never once did she defend Kathy. All she did was talk about herself and what happened to her. That's why Kathy called her a martyr. Garcelle said to Kyle, why aren't you mad at Lisa? And Kyle says, I'm hurt by my sister. She looked at Lisa like she was scared as shit and turned it right back to, I'm mad at my sister. I'm hurt by my sister. That's what Kyle said. It's no way on earth that Kathy Hilton should continue a relationship with Kyle. She'd be a fool to do it. This is where that relationship ends. I don't care about a wedding. I don't care about what Kyle said about, oh, my nieces and this and that. I don't care. That was your platform on that reunion stage to make right any wrongs that you've made all season with your sister. That was the time and place to say, stand up for not only yourself, but for your sister. And you sat there and took the punk route, crying, acting like the victim, acting like everything that's happening to your sister is hurting you. Not once do you say it's hurting her. This is not right. You're trying to ruin her reputation. This woman is a stand-up woman. This woman is not a liar. I know she wouldn't say these things. You get what I'm saying? That's how you defend your family. Kyle has more loyalty to Lisa Rinna and Erika Jane than her own sisters. Sisters, Kathy and Kim. So Dorit chimes in, and Dorit takes up for Kathy. Dorit says, Kathy just wants Kyle to accept some responsibility in this. And Kyle stops, looks at Dorit, and tells her, do not interject. Don't get in this. Now, if Dorit would have probably said something to take up for Kyle, she would have just cried and been happy with that. So you mean to tell me, not only is Kyle making this whole situation about her, but then when someone tries to come and take up for Kathy, they get shut down. They get told to not say nothing. Kyle is something else. That woman has a problem, a deep-rooted issue with her sister, and Kathy saw for her own eyes. That woman will not take up for her no matter what. So Kyle says to Lisa that they start talking about social media and, Lisa's behavior on social media. So Kyle says that the taunting on social media that Rinna gives Kathy, she said it only hurts her. Once again, the taunting that is not done to her, but that's done to Kathy, only hurts her. So she doesn't understand how Kathy can call her a martyr. You're acting exactly like one. And I'm so sick of this grown adult acting like this. And a lot of people are like, oh, they need therapy. I don't even think so. I think Kathy just needs to cut her off. That's honestly what I think. This is not even about therapy. If Kyle could do right and understand what loyalty means and really has love for her sister, they wouldn't need therapy. I don't think they would need it if Kyle knew how to be a good sister. Kathy is sitting there admitting what she said and how she felt. And all Kyle is doing is redirecting it right back to herself and making it all about her and how I'm always the one to get blamed and this and that. Like, what are you talking about? Why can't you own up to anything you did to hurt your sister? You sit there all season long and you shade her, you make fun of her, you talk about her style of dressing, you talk about just everything. You try to make her the butt of a joke. But yet you're the victim this whole season? The crying that she did. Just the crying that she did. Talking about, I don't want to sit here for a toast. You might as well have poured a glass and raised that glass and toasted it with Lisa and Erika because you didn't take up for your sister at all. It's the guilt. She knows she's wrong. And Kathy said something to Kyle about, I forgot what she said to her, but she was making it seem like you didn't take up for me. This is what she said to Kyle. She said, I'm not a liar. And then Kyle is like, oh, you're mad at me for crying. And she's like, Kyle, I'm not a liar. Meaning when they sat here and said that I said these things that I know I didn't say, you sat your ass here and you did not take up for me. And that I'm not a liar. And once again, Kyle's like sitting there crying, sobbing her eyes out. All because she's scared to go against Rinna and Erika. And I think now, had she would have said anything to Rinna on that stage, like to come at her, they have some kind of proof. They have some kind of evidence. They have something against Kyle, something she's done. some kind of receipt, whether it's a text message, I don't know what it is, but it's something that they have on her that she's scared to death that they will bring to light if she goes against them. That's why she chose to sit and cry her eyes out like a baby and left her sister hanging to dry. And Andy, look, the look on Andy's face, he's hugging her. She goes through all of this to sit and cry and say, I want to leave. I don't want to toast. And another thing, didn't Rinna say, or not even say, if you guys remember the first part of the reunion, when Rinna came out, remember she was the first one to come out, and remember she posted that she had some Aspen receipts, and she had a folder like this behind like one of the pillows where she sat. She never showed us those receipts. So what was that? This is how I know this woman's a liar. She's lying. She wanted to sit, she talked all of this about, oh, wait till the reunion, I'm going to have a lot to say. And she said nothing. I'm so happy the season is finished. I'm so happy this reunion is over. Kyle, you should be ashamed of yourself. I don't like the way you look at your sister, how you were acting last night. That is no kind of loyalty or love. It's like she's not loyal, and she just genuinely does not have her sister's back. I don't think Kathy will be back next season. I honestly don't. And Kyle feels like she shouldn't have to share this platform with her family. That's how I feel. This is what it comes down to. She doesn't want to share this platform with neither one of her sisters. I'm just done. I'm done, and I'm tired of talking about Housewives of Beverly Hills. So guys, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the third part of the reunion. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to all of you again soon.